Hello YouTube, welcome to State of the Games, Elite Dangerous and Star Citizen for December 2014. Now we're going to start out with Elite Dangerous, as both of these games had very huge milestones being dropped, but none is more important than Elite Dangerous's initial release of version 1.0. And I use those words very precisely. This is its initial release. It has all of the basic core foundations there, and everything was very stable and solid from at least my personal experience. I didn't suffer much in the way of connection issues. Everything was fairly well stable, didn't really experience any game crashes, anything like that. They bumped up bounty hunting. It's now a viable profession. You can earn money via kills just as well as you can trading, although you can do rare commodities trading and make a little bit more. Is the economy as dynamic as I would have liked to have seen? And not quite as much. And probably the other big complaint a lot of people have is that the wingman mechanics, or the wing mechanics, did not make it into the initial release. Instead, it will be released sometime early in 2015. I suspect it'll be January. I expect it to be in February, to be honest. So, probably a 2-month window there. That being said, it could be sometime early in January here, and it could be in-game. They've been usually fairly quick. So that means you're not able to group up with your friends and fly missions together, or share bounty loads, or share profits from trading. And I hope all of those features will be in there when the wing mechanics drop earlier this year. Not all the ships, 25 ships, no, there's only about 15. 12, 15 at this point. So not all the ships are there yet. There'll be more ships being added in. But if you're looking to get started, earn your credits, start building up your ships and equipment, gear, all of that is very, very stable, very, very doable, in a very playable state. They've also added in player interactions, where players can now flip the allegiance of a system by supporting various sub-factions. So let's say a system is controlled by the Federation, but there's an Imperial sub-faction. Well, if you do trading and missions for that sub-faction, it'll increase its influence, and eventually you could flip that system to either a state of civil war, as well as just flip it from an allegiance standpoint, from Federation to Empire, if you wanted to. And individual players have been doing this, as have groups of players. But it's not something that's not necessarily easy, and it's going to take several days of trading, combat missions, and things of that nature in order to accomplish. Nothing in this game is going to come quickly. It is also not a theme park game. There is no overarching storyline that gives you quests and missions, other than there are now developer, I guess you could say, subplots going on. I think the major overarching storyline right now is the near death and imminent death of the Emperor, which will throw the Empire into chaos, and which one of the various sub-factions of the Empire will end up controlling things will largely be determined by the player base itself. Many people within Test, mostly harmless, are indeed playing as the Empire right now, trying to increase their faction standing and rank in order to earn the Imperial Clipper. Be able to gain a permit to get into the Arachnar, or is it Arachnar? Arceus? Whatever the home system is for the Empire. I know I butchered that name pretty darn well there. So there are events going on. There's the Slave Rebellion, Sorbo. There's been several other systems that are in states of civil war. So there are things going on in the meta universe thanks to the background sim. But it's not going to be this storyline where you're the center of the galaxy, your actions save the galaxy or cause it to doom. You're not a special little snowflake. You are just another commander out there trying to earn his way in the universe, just as there are another 100,000. There's nothing to set you apart special from the next guy, other than your skills, your weapons, your equipment, and what you want to make of the game. Do you want to be an intergalactic space trucker? Maybe you want to be an intergalactic space trucker this week and an ace combat veteran the next. It's going to be the game that you make it. And if you're one of these people who require structure, require essentially being told what you need to do, or looking for a rapid advancement through achievement systems, whether it be like in Battlefield 4 where you're doing these to build up, points on this gun in order to earn the next gun or the next attachment for your current gun. You do that a little bit with ships and ship equipment, but that'll keep some folks coming back, but you're not going to be, oh, achievement, bounty hunter, achievement this, achievement that. You're not going to be, oh, achievement, bounty hunter, achievement this, achievement that. You're not going to be, oh, achievement, bounty hunter, achievement this, achievement that. You're not going to be, oh, achievement, bounty hunter, achievement this, achievement that. You're not going to be, oh, achievement, bounty hunter, Now, they have sponsored a contest. Those who achieve elite in each one of the 3 professions will earn several thousand quid for being the first to do so. So there is a contest and a strive to get to the elite status. I've not been playing this too much because it's been the holiday week and my computer was down for about a day as I replaced parts on it, and then just busy with Christmas and family obligations and all of those good things. So I've not spent a whole lot of time in Elite Dangerous yet, but I will be spending a lot more time in the coming weeks and months as we look forward to the expansion packs. Things like being able to fly down to the surface of a planet uninterrupted from space, basically a seamless transition. The ability to walk around your ship both on the inside as well as the outside and on stations. Maybe participate with other commanders, which is probably one of the most negative aspects of this game right now. Running into other commanders is a very rare event, and this is something that David Braben has said for some time, that it would be. I do see my friends from time to time on my friends list. Occasionally I run into another commander, but oftentimes it's just 2 ships passing in the night as it's at a star jump point and you're just waiting for a frame shift drive to cool down and head to the next leg of the journey, and same with that next commander. Now, the ability to hail another commander could be done easier. I'm glad that there's no in-system chats and things like that. Some people are demanding system-wide chats. I don't really favor that. Anybody who's ever been to Earth, Space Dock, and Star Trek Online, or, well, any other MMO is pretty much saying thank you for not having group chats, or I shouldn't say group chats, but system chats. You know, all space member chats and things like that. We don't need that. I don't particularly want it. There are other people out there who will disagree with me on that, but I wish communications was a little bit easier. I know it's a hotkey that you can hit to do it, and I guess I just don't do it enough that I'm not used to doing it. I have it set up on one of my multifunction displays. I don't have it mapped to the HOTAS. Maybe that's my mistake. But nonetheless, this is Elite Dangerous. It is now available in its initial release version and available for sale for $50. You can buy it online. I think you can also buy a limited number of boxed copies as well. Probably not on the shelves at Fry's, but you should be able to buy it from Frontier or EliteDangerous.com. CIG likewise has been busy delivering Star Citizen's Arena Commander version 1.0, and the only thing I can say here again, as much as I wanted to like this release, there's some good, there's some bad, and there's just some downright ugly. So let's get into the good first. Flight mechanics and aiming mechanics. Huge, massive improvement over previous iterations. I can actually hit things again with a joystick as a joystick HOTAS user. Now this is single-player Vanville Swarm, and we'll get into the bad and the ugly, why there's not more multiplayer content here. But I'm trying the different pip methods. You can also do gimbal lock now, which will use a targeting computer, the AI, to lock on your gimbaled weapons. I really need to explore this more in depth. It's just going to come with flying as well as tweaking the flight controls. I still hadn't got all my controls mapped the way I wanted them in this playthrough, this fly-through. This is really the first time with Arena Commander version 1.0, and I was just trying to get a feel out. Other good things. A lot more ships and weapons are in the game. For example, the Avenger is now finally flyable, and the Cutlass is flyable as a single-player ship. All of the Aurora variants are in, all the Hornet variants are in, and, well, the 300 series has been in for a while. Now, a couple of the neat things. They've got the emission system there. It's kind of simplistic in its current iteration. You'll see it underneath the target there. It has the heat signature, the electromagnetic signature, and the radar cross-section as the 3 main factors that they measure for determining whether or not you can get a missile lock and how well missiles track. Additionally, you now have a lot more missile options in terms of different types of missiles. They behave differently. The Willis Ops targeting system is on the 325A here that allows you to lock up to 4 different targets and fire 4 missiles at one time and hit 4 different ships. That's kind of nice. You can also lock multiple missiles onto a target and ripple fire them. You can do that very easily with the Aegis Avenger. And I really haven't had a chance to fly the Hornet much yet, now that they've taken off the ball turret. That's only now on the Super Hornet, as they've gone in and made changes there. But the fact that I'm actually able to hit anything. Now the bad. Multiplayer doesn't work. And I'm just going to flat out say it doesn't work. This is me and Ginger Ninja, who's another YouTuber, big Star Citizen friend of mine from Battlestar Galactica Online. And we're trying to get a private match going. What you don't see is the 20 minutes we'd spent prior to this and the 20 minutes that we were trying to figure things out. Finally, after futzing around, we got a match to go. I could only fly my Avenger. I couldn't get my Hornet to work. I couldn't get the 350R to work. I couldn't get the 325A to work. It would say that I had an invalid ship type. You didn't see the number of error messages we got. You certainly didn't see the number of error codes that he got. But it was just very, very difficult to get a private match going. And public matches, I've had the same issues. I've not been able to get into a public match. So we're going to start this private match here. Dying Star Battle Royale. Get started into here, and we're both on TeamSpeak. We had a gentleman's agreement on no missiles, because I'll discuss that a little bit later in the ugly segment, in the uglies. In fact, let's just go to the uglies. Number 1, my Avenger loads in. I have bingo ammo on my main gun. That means I've got the Joker distortion cannon and missiles. And then, wait a minute, wait, that's not Ginger Ninja. He's not flying it. Wait, that's not my friend. Who is that? This is a private match, right? Let me go back and check here. Was this a private match? So, what the hell are these other people doing in our private match? Well, again, the multiplayer system is broken. And, you know, that goes into the bad. They released this release the Friday before Christmas. Next week, not a lot of people were going to be in the office, I guess, and they released a broken product. Not only that, they had this live stream a few weeks ago, or I guess a couple weeks ago now, in which Sandy and Ben, two senior CIG employees, were going to fight each other, and they're both like, I haven't flown this game in months. And Sandy was like, how do I fly? I'm going around in circles. This is hard. How do I do any of this? And Ben wasn't much better. He was like, I was been away for, I haven't played in months or weeks or something like that. How can you not have your senior people playtesting to see just how accessible a game is, even at this stage? That doesn't really make any sense to me. I mean, that's just kind of the ugly. And, it kind of shows in the level of, number of things that make it past QA. And there are people who say, but it's pre-alpha. And I don't know, with Arena Commander version 1.0, I think you've reached a beta stage or a beta stage. And then we get into the really ugly missile play in multiplayer. And as soon as Ginger and I realize that we're not alone, him and I make the determination that, hey, we're going to try to gang up on everybody else. And try not to shoot each other, but then we decide to go off and try to engage ourselves, and, that's not going to work when there's other people shooting at you, because him and I are shooting at each other, and then other people are going to come in and play spoilers. It happens several times. But missiles are just completely broken at this point, and this is where I'm going to really say is the ugly. And the problem with the missiles are, once you defeat them with countermeasures, chaff or flare, depending on the missile type, they will continue to track you. So it misses you on a turn, and then it comes back. And I'm looking at this, and the missiles are basically expending a tremendous amount of Delta V. Now, I could explain this better in Falcon BMS, and I may do it in a later video, but how missiles work in the real world, and why after that initial intercept, and if it misses you, it's going to continue off in a straight line and not re-inquire you. Because it doesn't have that aspect, all-aspect seeker heads in the terms, even in an AMRAAM or something like that. But also because a missile to then meet your new course heading requires a tremendous amount of Delta V, or change in velocity. And even in space, it's non-trivial the amount of Delta V that you need in order to do something. Here somebody locks onto me with 2 missiles, so I evade the missiles, and I'm continuing. This guy only needs 1 more kill to win, and I'm just hitting missiles, spamming my flares as fast as I can, trying to do maneuvers not to get hit, and a missile evaded, and boom. There's no way to effectively counter missiles. It's basically missiles have to have 1 pass, and then you go. Well, be sure to like and subscribe and share, and I'll be seeing you with more videos in 2015. Kind of excited for next year, and see you then.